Hello there, and welcome to episode 3 of the City Skylines Vanilla-ish European City Beginner's Guide. Now, last episode, we finally set up that riverside with a mix of industrial as well as some, future park-like expansion. Furthermore, we got some services going, maybe even some regional services with that high school here for some outlying villages. Keep in mind, this map right here uses a low capacity national highways, and we basically don't have any like big 3-lane ones going through here. So there's going to be small hamlets and villages strewn about, and I think that's going to be pretty cool once we have them all connected up, and maybe even add some school buses connecting the villages to the high school right there. So that's what we did last episode, but enough with the past, let's jump right in. In the meantime, we have gotten a new DLC, the Plazas and Promenades DLC, and we're going to pedestrianize the Oldtown for sure. I want to have two specific parks. One is going to be a city park right in the middle here. That's called, City Park. There we go. Have the main plaza right there. And another one, I mean, it's not technically a nature reserve. Maybe we even just classify it as a city park as well. Just have like some riverside promenade going here, even all the way to the industrial area. Because, I have one of these paths nearby that kind of goes through like a riverside industrial area, which is okay for like pedestrian paths. If you just buffer it with trees, totally okay. Can integrate that park right here. I'm not yet sure about the pedestrian area, where we're going to locate it, but I think that's going to be perfectly cool for this episode, because it is something that just recently released, and I guess we're all pretty hyped about. Now, we're going to call this Market Square. And now that I'm thinking about it, I mentioned earlier that we want to add some hamlets to that region. And what that means is we need a name, not only for the region itself, as you can see here in the bottom, haven't come up with it yet, but also for this city. That's going to be like the regional capital, maybe around like 10k people. It's a very rural area. So if you have any ideas for a region name as well as the name for this city, feel free to suggest them in the comments. Now let's wait for the money to trickle in. We want to have, let's see, 1, 2, 3 at least. And we have that road right there. This is the main road leading outside. Yeah, maybe for the tourists, let's just put one there. I think that is more reasonable. We want to have the shortest pathway possible for pedestrians, because compared to cars, pedestrians are very, very impacted by distances. So even like a 5 or 10 meter detour is absolutely problematic for pedestrians. That's why we want to make sure to set this up correctly here. You know what? Honestly, this right here, I don't want to have... This is going to be just an open plaza, right? So it's not supposed to have any ticket entrance fee. Also, do we want to have fireworks? No, I think that's super unrealistic. Well, on the other hand, I mean, that's like the regional square. Maybe, I don't know, they do like their city festivities there, and then firework would make sense. Why not? You know what? Yeah, let's keep it. I'm sorry, I was unsure of what to do right there. Now, we have pathways. Let's see first what kind of amenities we have unlocked. Ooh, another interesting thing just happened. That park made the city very desirable. We just quadrupled our residential demand. And slightly increase the commercial demand as well, as far as I'm aware. That is good to know. So in case we gotta push demand, we can do that. Right, what do we have? We have a plaza. That is great. Cafe, always appreciated. Even though we have like commercial around here, but we still want to add a cafe. What else do we have? Park restrooms? Nah, not on that plaza, but for sure on the riverside. Info booth? Nope, don't need that. Chessboard? Nah, these are weird unlocks. Don't really fit. And then we can just use these tiles to decorate this. It's going to be tedious, but it's going to be doable. I'd say we're in the plus right here. Barely so, but we're in the plus. So what if we take out the loan? And what we're going to do is... let me see. I think like a triangular setup could be interesting. I want to have a side gate right where the church is as well. And want to connect this up accordingly. Let me see. How would that look? Perfect. Let's add the plaza right here. And we're going to add a cafe, maybe off to the side. Where are we going to pedestrianize? Now that's going to be the question. Where do we have our main roads? Now the main roads, I would argue we could do the wide sidewalk roads because we don't want to have parking on our main thoroughfares. So these are roads from the new patch that dropped with the Plazas and Promenades DLC. And what that allows us to do is keep track of where our main roads are. Okay, and we have a main road here. Now that means this is going to be super busy. If we're clever and pedestrianize this stretch and then make this road faster, we can force traffic to take the long way around and maybe even set the Oldtown policy so we don't have through traffic and exempt that road. I have seen this in my hometown where we have a very well-maintained ring road that everyone's using and barely anyone is going through the old town. I think that's what we're going to do. We know that there's going to be plenty of pedestrians here, right? Because we wanted to pedestrianize this stretch. So what we're going to do is... oh, there's not enough space here. Come on, there you go. Put a nice restaurant here. That aligns really well. I like that. Perfect. Okay. I totally dig it, you guys. Now, what else do we got? I said info booth and all that other stuff. We don't need that. Now, let's see how well, without mods, we can actually put these things down. Okay, now we did fill this up nicely, but what that means is there's these weird gaps here, and the easiest trick, and that's why I'm going to link a video in the info card right here, is to just put trees down to hide these imperfections. It's the easiest trick in the book, which we're going to make ample use of. As per the video mentioned earlier, you can work around these open areas by cleverly adding objects and props and kind of playing around with the scale a bit. Now, for example, of course, we want to have some trash cans for these, street food trucks. And of course, maybe you want to sit down. So how about we add some amenities for that as well? So we have something here. This is nice and detailed as well. At least like good enough for what we're trying to do. We can make use of another trick. If you place benches, don't place benches towards the street. In real life, they would be angled towards the plaza because people are able to watch others go by, live their lives, be, you know, part of the daily stuff that's going on. So we're going to add some benches around here, and I think that's going to make the plaza way more attractive. We can even check out the entertainment score right here, and the more of these benches we cleverly add, the higher that entertainment level, and this will level up our market square right here. Let's combine this DLC feature from the Parklife DLC with the Plazas and Promenades DLC. Now, I'm going to mark the pedestrian road, the pedestrianized area, with some dirt paths, just so I know where we're going. Plus it's the cheapest option, right? Now again, this is the main thoroughfare, right? So of course we want to at minimum pedestrianize these two bits here. Another interesting thing is maybe I want to keep traffic away a bit from this plaza, and especially with that commercial development here, I want to make sure that people can just, you know, maybe these are the official restaurants, and then we're going to add some restaurant and dining tables right on that plaza. I've seen that so many times in cities all throughout Europe. Let's continue with the main pedestrian road. I think having it running parallel to the main road, that could be really cool. And we're going to include the church as well. And for a city that size, I think that's a rather reasonable pedestrian area. Now, how do we go about this? As far as I know...
Yay!
Let's start the service point. Right, let's do that first. We're going to go about service points. Pedestrian area plazas. Have we not yet unlocked them? Paint a pedestrian area. Ha! That's what we're going to do. As far as I'm concerned, that is a rather reasonable pedestrian area in the center of the city. Also, we want to have these pedestrian areas connect up to our main train station, which came a little later after the Middle Ages, so that's why it's outside of what we have so far. Now, let's add that service point finally, if we have the money. And there we go, 16,000 Dollaritos or whatever that is. Small pedestrian area service point. Now, what we want to make sure is that this is on a main road, so it has good access. And I kind of like... Okay, let me see that asset. On one side, it has just a flat wall, so we can do some visuals, like some nice wall-to-wall specialization here. put this down, and now we should finally have unlocked the pedestrian streets. Now, what I want to do is, I don't like the sandstone for the city. I want to go with traditional cobblestone. So let's see. Oh, we can do a triangle shape right here. Something like that. Perfect. Update this piece right there, as we said, this piece, everywhere where we have these gravel roads. Now let's double check. This looks pretty good. We have ourselves a pedestrian area. Now, what does it say here? Oh, the park gate cannot. Okay, it's just one side gate. I don't mind. I think I can ignore this because the main gate is here anyways. Policies. We want to have all roads in the pedestrian area that are not pedestrian streets get a very low speed limit, decreases noise pollution. Yes, we want to do that because that means we don't need the Oldtown policy, but we still force people onto that ring road while all the other streets surrounding the pedestrian area are of lower speeds. And we want to have street music because that is definitely something that we have. Let's just extend the pedestrian area because, as we saw, that means that all the roads inside will be of lower speed limit. And I want that. So what we're going to do is just include these inner roads like so, and this as well. Now, how do we go about this right here? You know what? I think the south of the city, we're just going to keep that way. But this area right here, that's still considered pedestrianized. And what that means is all these roads in here have a lower speed limit. So it's very unattractive for cars to go here. Now, we're going to fill up all of that with commercial. Just gotta make sure we don't have these weird 1x1s. We can fill that up differently later on. And we're going to let this grow. I'll take a lovely screenshot for the end of this episode. So the demand is there. That means I'm going to do a nice time-lapse here. There's the playlist here with other episodes that you can watch of this series. And on the right, you can see a suggested video of other types of content about City Skylines that I produce. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.